1988, Mona Devine was at Lake District as a supervisory park ranger. In this podcast, Mona discusses how her experiences working with the public and the media during 1988 transformed her working methods 12 years later when she was assigned to the Cerro Grande Fire near Los Alamos, New Mexico.
Well, you still see distortion, and you're going to in the media. There's always some that are going to go after trying to sensationalize things. And that's what sells stories. You know, look at what the public wants. They go after the sensational sometimes, that sells, the headlines. I think the only thing you can do is to try to craft very creative things that maybe will be as eye-catching to the media as your story is. Yeah, I think to some degree you have to try to get it as accurate as you can early on, but it's such a challenge. I mean, dealing with the media and communications is a very challenging skill, or the ability to do that. Technical skills, are much easier. I can learn how to dig a line. I can learn how to put a splint on, or take care of this. It's the more complex issues of communication, leadership, all those things which are harder to describe and harder to sometimes fulfill, correctly. Well, the media took off with the burn baby burn, or the conception that we were letting the fires burn. A lot of the communications then, and some of the problems we saw was, the employees were communicating misinformation, concessions employees, not necessarily Park Service employees, but we didn't have some of the tools we have now which would make it easier to communicate quickly factual information. So there was a lot of rumors going around and misinformation. And so what we decided to do is I got together with the concessions managers and stuff, and so we started doing daily briefings for the concessions employees, because we found that to be critical in communicating the correct information to the public. Because these were the people who had contact with the public on a daily basis. They don't always just go to the media officer, and they don't always just communicate with our nice, neat press releases we send out. People are out there with the reporters, and the visitors are getting information from a wide variety of sources. So the more factual information you can get out quickly to everybody, then I think we're going to be ahead of the curve. I think you have to communicate the story up front, and you're going to get burned sometimes. I mean, the media is, individuals. Everything is an individual, so you're going to have some that are good and some that, sway it here or there. But I think you do have to tell a story. We have to educate the public, and I think those in-depth programs, people are really watching a lot more of those these days. And the public is becoming a little bit more educated. I think '88 was a key role in that. It got the public interested in wildland fire management, and they started thinking, this is a little bit trickier than we thought. It isn't just they go out there and poof, poof, the fire's gone. It takes a little bit more than that, and it's a risky business. I'd always felt that way about dealing with the media, but I think that really cemented it, '88. Trying to work with them in a proactive way rather than a defensive way. An example would be Cerro Grande Fire. Big fire, obviously, not a lot of positive, particularly early on, but my incident management team was assigned down there within the first few days to work with Bandolier. We were trying to count for employees. The town was evacuated, setting up the claims process. The fire teams were just arriving, the investigation team was just arriving, so we were trying to handle all that. The regional director was on site immediately, obviously. And I remember that first day, the town had been evacuated, buildings burning, and I advised the regional director, I said, we should put a full-page ad in the paper immediately. And she really wanted to say, what she felt was right. But the politics in Washington, when they heard we wanted to do that, it went, I'm not sure how high it went in Washington, but I knew it went to at least the secretary, and it might have even gone to the White House. I think it was pretty good, because people were wanting, to throw blame. Well, rather than throwing blame, we'd already accepted it. So then I think we were able to change the tone as, what are we doing with the fires now? How can we help the people that are displaced from their homes? Here's the stories we need to be doing right now. We can always figure out what the blame is for the fire. We need to take action. And so that's what we did. Well, I worked with some really good people. I think that really helped me. If you want to call them mentors or leaders, that enabled me to grow and develop as an employee. I hope that they can find some people to work with that will help them. I would advise them to really hone their technical skills, and if they're in a specialized field, that's a good thing. But we really need people in the agencies, I think, that are willing to build on that. The specialized skills are really, really critical. You've got to have some good technical base, and we need good scientists, we need good technicians, we need good firefighters, but we need some of them to develop those things like communication skills and leadership skills, and how to integrate all of that knowledge, skills, and abilities to make good decisions. So problem solving, decision making, where are our agency administrators going to come from, and how are they developed is going to be, I think, a key. The trend is a little bit scary there, and we need to really work on that.
Mona speaks of accepting responsibility for when something goes wrong on a fire. This may be easier said than done. When something goes wrong on one of your fires, how will you publicly accept responsibility? Are there times an agency wouldn't accept responsibility?